Hey guys, I've got a quick one today. I'm running up to my local park to talk a little bit about pace. Now, I don't expect you to take this video with you to the park, but what I would love to happen is if you guys could pay attention to what I'm saying and the ideas, and then take them to your park. And if you get a chance, put a comment down below. Or if you've got videos or pictures of you practicing your pace, I've got a link in the description where you can send them to me. Don't forget to do your warm-up and your stride exercises before you do any running. All right, ready to go? Today, I'm at Seneca Park and I'm working on pace. Pace is essentially how fast you're running over a given distance and time. Now, a lot of people will think when they think about pace, it's how fast can I possibly run? Like a sprint. But if you're going to run a mile, you can't sprint a mile, right? You don't necessarily want to walk a mile because that won't also be your fastest as well. I like to break pace into 4 different speeds. Walking isn't a pace, that's just walking. When I'm talking about these 4 speeds, I'm talking about actually running. I mentioned we've got 4 different speeds. We've got a really easy turtle pace, and that's really whatever it takes for you to just barely keep running. And you're probably going to use that after you've got done with a really hard run, like a really hard horse or cheetah pace. The next one up is fox pace, and that's what you would run with just to warm up or to go easy, as I did the other day. And then you've got horse pace. Horse pace, here's a good rule for horse pace. You know that you're going at horse pace when you're just unable to carry on a conversation, right? So if you're sitting there just chatting with a buddy while you're running, that's probably more of a fox pace. But if you are having problems really talking in a full sentence, then that's a good indication that you're probably at horse pace. Now, one above horse pace is cheetah pace. You won't be able to talk when you're running at cheetah pace. And so those are some pretty good rules for you, I think, to figure out what your pace should be. How do I know what my pace is? And that's a perfectly good question. Everybody's got a different speed. Those animals that I talked about earlier, those different speeds, everybody has those. Everybody can run at a turtle pace like I'm running at right now, an easy rest pace. Everybody can run at some sort of speed that's a fox pace, just a little warm-up kind of jog, and everybody can run at their best horse or race pace. And then everybody has some sort of cheetah speed. You might be wondering, how fast should I be going for each and every one of those speeds? Well, that's a good question, and I think I've got some rules for you that can help you figure that out. One of the easy ways to figure out how hard you're going is just to pay attention to your own body. So the things that you can pay attention to are how hard your heart is beating, or how easy it is for you to talk or to not talk, how you're feeling in your head. Now, it's important, because running is hard, for you to try to pay more attention to your body than maybe your head, because your brain is probably going to tell you, this really hurts and I shouldn't keep going. Now, nothing should hurt. You shouldn't be in pain. But there's a difference between being in pain and being uncomfortable. Like while Here's an interesting way to think about pace. Think about it as like speed in a video game. Imagine you're racing a car and you've got your speed and it goes from here and then it goes all the way up here, and then there's a point at which usually where you have a little bit of turbo that you can go over, but you can't go turbo all the time. That's an interesting way to think about pace. So in that case, when we're talking about turtle pace, it's way down here. It's very low. You're just putting along. Fox is somewhere in between, and then horse pace is that line right between where you're at your top speed, but you're not gone turbo quite yet. Turbo is cheetah. You can't do cheetah for that long, so you've got to come back down. Now, after you go over that point, if you go too far with cheetah pace, then you're going to have to come back down to turtle pace. There's no way about it. There's no other way around it. You have to rest if you go over your limit. So try to find that balance. Best runners and the best racers find that line between horse and cheetah and they just stay on just this side and use their turbo when it's the most effective, like when passing or finishing. Pace is also about consistency. That means trying to stay the same pace all the way around your race. If you can stay consistent and not stop while you're running, always keep moving, then you're going to have a good race and you're going to have a good run, because you won't have gone way over and you wouldn't have gone way under and been slower than you can. If you want to figure out your pace, the best way to do it is to obviously pay attention to the things I just mentioned, but then also go find a spot where you can run. A loop of some sort, up your block, around your house, it doesn't matter. Let's talk about how long you should be running, right? So you probably want to find something that is fairly short. And by fairly short, I mean probably, I don't know, a quarter of a mile or less. Now, you may not know how long a quarter of a mile is, but I think the average pace for most elementary and middle school runners is probably around, let's say, 10 to 12 minutes a mile. So if you cut that into quarters, it's something you can probably run in about 2.5 to 3 minutes, okay? So if you want an easy way to do that and create yourself a loop, you can just run from wherever you're starting and then run out about 1.5 minutes and then come back, okay? Now, not everybody's going to be as fast over that 1.5 minutes, and they're not going to cover as much ground, but that doesn't matter. What you want to be able to do is you want to be able to do more than one of those laps in a row, okay? That means putting in roughly the same amount of time each lap, okay? And push yourself to go around that at a pace that is just right on that line, like I mentioned. You shouldn't necessarily be able to talk in full sentences, but you're able to run the same pace all the way around. Run that distance and try to stay right on that edge between too much and not enough speed, between horse and cheetah. That's what a good horse does after all, right? They start off from the gate and they go all the way around the race course at roughly the same speed, but they still have a little bit at the end to put in that cheetah speed. And so that's what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to go run at my horse pace and I'm going to time myself. This little grass track right here is a little less than a quarter of a mile. You all ready to go? I'm going to go and I'm going to take a look at my time too. All right, here we go. All right, I can speak right now, but pretty soon I'm going to get tired. All right, my stride is good. I'm listening to my heart, my lungs. I gotta back it down a little bit. Going too hard. Okay. The question is, could I do that one more time? And I think I could. So try it again. Whew. Okay. Maybe I went a little too hard there. What you might have noticed is that when you first get started, you feel great. And then you start to feel kind of bad as your body gets a little tired. So you've got to find the time to back down when you're running and find that line. There are going to be times when you're trying to pace yourself where you go into the red and then you're like, wow, I got to step it back a little bit. Now don't stop. Just try to slow it down a little bit. Try to take not as many strides. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to try it again. And this time, I'm going to start off a little slower than I did. I'm going to try to finish so strong that I could do 2 at that same pace. And that'll mean that I've hit the pace right. Here we go. All right. A little easier this time around. Focusing on good stride. Seeing what I can do. Okay. Feel like a little easier than what I did last time. But that's okay. I'm feeling better this time. I think I've got my pace locked in. I'm going to go around one more time. Hey, I did a good job there, I think. I was able to do 2 of those in a row, and I feel pretty good right now. I'm not nearly as beat up as I was after the first lap. That's a good sign that I've hit my pace. Try to remember what that felt like. Whew. It is hot out here today, guys. Put some water on my bandana. Whatever you can do to stay cool. Okay, I'm gonna go run 4 laps around my little course here. And every time I come around, I'm gonna tell you what time I set, okay? And so I'm gonna try to be as consistent as possible. All right, here we go. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, I'm starting off rested, so I'm feeling pretty good, but I know that I don't wanna go out too fast. If you happen to have a treadmill or something like that, you can do the same thing at home. Just do a quarter of a mile fast, and then rest for a little bit. And then do another quarter of a mile, and then rest. I think I'm up to my good pace. Feeling pretty good. Feeling like I can do 3 more of these. All right, that was 1:15 for that. Kind of hot out here today, and I'm feeling a little tired, but I'm doing good. Got to keep pushing. You know, I've been watching these ladies over here play field hockey, and that makes me think about how cross-country running and trail running and anything you have to do for a long, steady time is so different. It's harder in some ways. Mainly, if you think about soccer or field hockey, there's a lot of sprinting and resting and sprinting. Okay, lap 2. Oh, I nailed it, another 1:15. Hey, I'm doing all right. Still got 2 more to go though. Gotta stay focused. More than halfway done. I like to break up stuff like this into chunks. So I'm almost at 3 out of 4. You can do the same. Let's see where I'm at. Oh yeah, I'm doing real good. Feeling pretty good about my pace. Yeah, that was right on. Now, I've done a couple in a row. I wonder what happens if I up it. This is what happens during a race too. So if you manage to get a couple of laps in where you're really consistent, you might be able to push even harder and finish strong. I'm definitely pushing into my cheetah pace here a little bit. It's feeling hard. Oh, goodness. Yeah, that one was just about 5 seconds faster, and it was hard. Each one of my laps there was about 1 minute and 15 seconds. So I only gained 5 seconds on that last really hard lap. And it was hard. Guys, that was hard, but I only made up 5 seconds. That just goes to show you how important it is to grow your steady pace. We'll talk about sprinting later on, but that's not the focus right now. The focus is really finding your steady pace that's just right there, and then being able to go faster with practice there. So pay attention to how your body feels, and if you feel like you're going too hard, just scale it back just a little bit. It will help. All right, guys, I think I'm done for the day. I hope that was helpful when we talked about pace today and how you can practice it, and also how you can pay attention to it when you run. Just remember, we're trying to stay right there on the line between a horse pace that you can keep up for a long time and a cheetah pace, which you can't. But you need to treat it like turbo in a video game. So with practice, your horse pace will get faster and you'll be able to run a longer distance. And that at the end of the day is the goal. And with that, as always, I gotta say, I love you and stay active, and I'll see you soon. Do you guys want to see what the doorway to my backyard looks like? Oh, there it was.